is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Hello, Hump Day.
Hey.
Looking great hair.
You turned to me like my name was
Great hair to you.
Thank you, but Al, your name is Al, not Hump Day.
Yeah, she was like, hello, Hump Day.
I'm very sorry.
All right.
That did come across.
Must not
Hi,
be from the old
Jeffrey.
school. Hello.
Good to see everyone, and we're so thankful y'all are watching at home. Welcome again to DBL. Now, we all know how cruel and mean social media can be. Are we right? But now GOP presidential candidate Nikki Haley is calling for some major reforms. Here's what Ms. Haley said she wants to do if she gets elected. Take a look.
When I get into office, the first thing we have to do, social media accounts, social media companies, they have to show America their algorithms. Let us see why they're pushing what they're pushing. The second thing is every person on social media should be verified by their name. That's, first of all, it's a national security threat. When you do that, all of a sudden people have to stand by what they say, and it gets rid of the Russian bots, the Iranian bots, and the Chinese bots. And then you're going to get some civility when people know their name is next to what they say.
Accountability.
And they know their pastor and their family members going to see it. It's going to help our kids, and it's going to help our country.
Critics, though, were quick to rip Haley for her suggestion. Ron DeSantis tweeted this out, saying Haley's proposal to ban anonymous speech online, similar to what China recently did, is dangerous and unconstitutional. It will be dead on arrival in my administration. So what do we think of Nikki Haley's proposal, since this is pretty much what Jeff really has been saying on our show for years? I'm going to pass the mic over to you, sir.
Wow, a little credibility for Big Jeff over here. Wow, thank you, guys.
Clapping.
I appreciate that.
We're clapping.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I like the second part of what Nikki said
Talk to me.
about having a license, so to speak, to be on social media. I'm not down for the algorithm. You know what I mean? I don't need to know how the sausage is made. I wish they would adjust it a little bit to put some more educational stuff into that algorithm,
Positive.
but that's far off. I just want to focus on this right now. I'm for this, and I think it would eliminate a lot of those bots and hate speech, because you are now responsible. I don't care if you work at Walgreens or you're a waiter, you are responsible now for what you say on the internet, right? Just like we are. We're on television, we have the check mark, we're responsible for what we say. I understand that interrupts freedom of speech, but make your own little Instagram, name it whatever you want, and let people who want to put their information on there be on there. If you want to be anonymous and you want to hate yourself at home and hate everybody else but what you're doing in your life, then stay on Instagram and Twitter. There's plenty of room for you to be a troll. But if they invented a new little app and you wanted to go on there and give your information very much like a driver's license, you are welcome to. That's where I would be, but I don't know if it would take off nationally.
I've never disagreed with the idea that people should be required to have some type of a license or at least identify who they are. I don't see the harm in that. DeSantis coming out so strongly makes me think that his Finsta is like at Ronnie D and something weird.
It is weird how strong he came out.
Right, because high heel, boots.
So many people use these things as a tool in order to garner more support for who they are or what they say or go against someone else. And these are public figures. Public figures have been caught so many times having Finstas or having teams who are running Finstas in order to manipulate the perception of
what's a Finsta?
A fake Instagram account. So a lot of you are familiar because you talk to us with them.
No. It's where you put your mean feelings out.
That was awesome.
It's true.
That was a good explanation.
It's very true. So yeah, the fact that he came out the gate saying this will be dead on arrival, it's like, don't you have something else to talk about? But I'm thinking that if one is done, it kind of might take care of the other, because the algorithm, for the most part, the way that we understand, is feeding back to you what you're putting into it.
Right.
So now, like for people who, you'll notice, like if we all looked at each other's Instagrams or any social media, you can tell who this person is, or like at least where
Very
their
much
interests
so.
are based on the things that are coming off their feed. So I think if your name was attached to it, it might affect your algorithm.
Yeah, I mean, it has pros and cons because, like you said, Erica, once your name is attached to it now, because all this information that's out there, whether it be Ancestry.com or what videos you look at between the hours of 8 and 10 p.m., they're figuring out who you are. They already know almost everything. They know your route. They know how many kids you have. They know how much money you spend on Amazon every year. And they're just like, here's Jeff. Here's where he lives. Here's what the people in his neighborhood make. This is what we're going to sell them. And so I wonder if there's one side of this where it's a good for business because it's more direct consumer marketing, but also bad for business because if you're X or Facebook or Instagram, you're going to advertisers saying, we got 60 million active users. Well, if you get rid of those bots, now it might be 39 million. It might be less than that. So are you then affecting these companies, and are all these companies are they going to come after all of them? Because is TikTok going to be subject to this because they're not an American company?
I think they do all have to be subjected to the same amount of scrutiny, but it reminded me of the Ashley Madison doc. Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I remember the story.
They had basically all the numbers were inflated, and they became like the IPO went out, and none of the numbers were
adding up.
Legit.
Yeah, right. Here's my issue. I actually agree with a lot of what you're saying, and I think it would help civility and accountability. But a lot of things in this country are sacred because they were anonymous and allowed because of freedom of speech. And I will be more clear. Whistleblowers can be sometimes anonymous and can speak out, and that protection is important. Anonymous, the Pentagon Papers, for instance, so our director had brought that up, were actually given through an anonymous person, Daniel Ellsberg, who actually became famous and all of that. But important papers and distinctions and findings in investigative journalism has been found through anonymous sources. If the government comes in and tells people you can no longer be anonymous, is that not creating an obstacle to our very first of amendments, the First Amendment of speech?
It also creates an obstacle, sorry to cut you off, Erica, to the people that want to harass the parents of Sandy Hook survivors.
But you get both.
So, I mean,
and that was found to be criminal.
That's kind of what human life is.
Right,
and I agree with what you're saying.
And that was found to be criminal. But
I think we're past the productive point of hiding a whistleblower.
Right.
I think we're past way.
It's too dangerous.
I mean, I think a whistleblower, what you're saying on the positive side of protecting freedom of speech in the Constitution, I respect. I think we're here. That's where I think we're at. It's so far, the misinformation, especially what's going on in Israel, I don't want to bring all that in.
No, I hear you.
I mean, even the New York Times is giving out misinformation and not retracting things. You know what I mean? I just want the truth. Yes, I just want the truth. And I'm not picking sides. I just want the truth of what's going on, which makes me think we are in a digital age of knowing everything like that, of what's going on, of videotapes, of what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. Right. We could see it through our eyes. It really makes me re-question history when we can't get our history right today with all the video cameras. How much is just obscured to the winner on the side who wrote history? It really starting to question a lot of things.
And you should.
Yes.
You should question it.
That's how you should.
I mean, honestly, the more transparency that we've had, and a lot of that is due to the digital age and social media and the internet, more information is able to be obtained. The problem is when more information, much to Jeff's point, is able to be obtained, you're getting some things that are very factually based and some things
But the First Amendment doesn't care if it's true or not. It protects because it's allowed to be wrong.
It's allowed to be wrong, but it's allowed to be verified. And I think to the point that you made earlier, does this hinder the idea of all of these whistleblowers who changed the course of history, where truth tellers actually got things, uncovered? Does it change it? And I ask, would Deep Throat happen before the internet? So does that really matter that we have all of this information now? Do people stop whistleblowing if the information is verifiable?
In my mind, it sort of doesn't matter only because of this. I really do agree with you. I'm just bringing up the thought any government interaction to stop speech or expression from anyone in this country, even if they wanted to do it anonymously, goes against the very gem of our democracy and republic. Although I do understand.
Let me give you one last point. We got to go. I don't think when they wrote the Constitution, they had in mind that the internet would be around. I don't think when they wrote the Constitution about guns that we would have
AR
bullets that could shoot 800 bullets in a second. I don't think they accounted for that. So I think we have to adjust in history as well.
Interesting. Let us know what you guys think in the DBL YouTube block. We're live. What else do you want? Coming up on DBL, we're talking with the one and only Tim Allen and his daughter all about their spin-off series for the Santa Claus and a self-checkout going the way of the dinosaur. How big stores like Walmart and Costco are rethinking their self-checkout strategy. Stay tuned for that.
Well, do you remember that?
Right as you were asking her to explain it, obviously, did Jody have someone explain what that means?
Oh, yeah, no, I just famously remember they brought that guy, like one of the CEOs from Instagram, when they were questioning Instagram and their algorithm was whether they knew it was bad for young people, and they asked about Finstas, and the CEO at least claimed he didn't know what it was, and he was a man of a certain age, and I think there's a lot of older folks, parents, that might not know. They're like, hey, look, I run my daughter's account, or I can look at it, but that might not be their only account. I'm quite sure that the vast majority of people that know that their parents have access to their Instagram have a Finsta.
Oh my gosh, so many people.
I would argue almost all.
Can I ask if that sort of proves my point? Or let's say you have a kid, and let's say they're trans, and let's say they live in Mississippi, and I'm not pulling out Mississippi, I'm simply saying, I'm so sorry. It's not the most generous and welcoming place for a trans kid. Pretend they have a Finsta, a fake Insta, and they want to anonymously talk about their trans world.
You took the words out of my mouth.
How dangerous is it for us to then block anonymous people from having to be, they don't want to be verified because they want to be able to speak freely.
Again, totally agree, but I will also say the good thing about having this kind of transparency is it does not skew the number of people, because the same people that might be coming at where that's trans kid is like 5,000 people hate me.
With the
those
bots
might be 4,900 bots. And that's it's going to skew your perception of the world, because I think most people are loving and accepting. I don't think most people are logging on death threats. Most of the a lot of the things that were attacking BLM accounts and attacking Russia they were bots.
Yeah.
All those, I think.
It just worries me with Welcome back to DBL. Oh, how do y'all feel about self-checkout? There's growing backlash against the machines, with stores complaining of increased theft and customers complaining they're unreliable, slow, and constantly need a clerk's attention. Not to mention, they're totally impersonal. Now some major retailers like Walmart, Costco, they're rethinking things. So what do you all think, DBL Nation? Do you like using self-checkout machines, yes or no? We want you to go to dblvote.com to weigh in. This is your time to use your vote. I want to say they had...
It's my favorite thing. It's the favorite invention of the last 10 years for me. I love it.
Al likes it. Okay.
Well, he doesn't like to interact.
He doesn't
with
like
humans.
people. He's a robot. If you didn't know, Al's a robot.
No.
Yes.
I like people. I'm not that transactional. I don't have modern interactions with people where it's just like, what can you do for me? I like to talk to people. So when I do go places, I talk to people, maybe not even about what I'm buying, but just I talk to the staff because I see them as humans.
Let me ask you a question as a staff. You're losing jobs by getting rid of these people, right? That's one thing.
Well, couldn't you say that about all automation?
Very true.
When's the last time you've been inside the bank?
Right, or a car wash or all that. I also just want to say...
Way to make a modern reference there.
It's very hard to deal with the wrong code with bananas when you don't know the tomato.
It's not that hard. You put it on the thing.
No, it is hard.
It depends on where you're shopping. But I will say, from the moment that this was announced, I said it was really so that the people who work there can just look at everybody else like they're idiots. Because if the moment that something goes wrong,
there's judgment.
There's so much judgment.
You feel judgy, don't you?
Like, why do you need my help?
Bing,
what
bing.
is the problem? It's like, I don't know.
I don't work here. I don't know.
You don't
Why
have to
am I
work there.
doing
No,
it?
you find the
But I
picture
don't
that
work
looks like
there.
bananas and you push that
But
button.
why can't someone who works there do the checkout? Am I being horrible?
You have to be able to identify fruit.
I think every single place I've been to has the option of you could still go to the checkout.
Yeah, there's one
lane
dude
if
in
you
a
want.
huge line, though.
Yeah, you could still do that. I like getting the gun
I
when
love
they have
the
the gun
gun.
and you're just like beep 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 beep.
So you're
I kind of
7.
enjoy.
Do you have a
doing,
little
like, other
technique
jobs.
and a rhythm?
Yeah, and I really enjoy it. Like when I see like people like driving a truck, like doing construction, I'm like, I'd like to do that for a week.
Yeah.
You know? Or like I see a train go by, I'm like, man, it'd be cool to be a train conductor for like a week. So I kind of like.
You're like a
I take a little
10-year-old.
pride in it. You know.
Yeah.
Do you think it's just like you're touching something tangible? You're actually interacting with something rather than just like Instagram, not
my
Instagram,
God.
but Amazon buying it?
But you're forgetting the main thing. It's not interacting with things. It's humans. Why can't we go back to the humans?
You can't. We're not gone. You could still go there.
Jeff, there's one person there. The line's 8 million.
Well, you're complaining out of both sides of your mouth. Do you want to talk to humans? You can.
That should be the name of her comedy album.
You know,
Complaining out of
That's
both sides of
right.
my-
Poll results. We got, do you like using them? 48% yes, 52% no. Kind of middle. All right. We'll
both
check
sides of their mouth.
We'll be right back.
I love it.
It's a simple slogan,
Leave the leaves.
promising a magic bullet for a better garden.
Want more fireflies in your yard? Leave the leaves. Want fewer mosquitoes near your house? Leave the leaves, surprisingly. Want to never spend money on mulch again? Believe it or not, leave the leaves.
So does less mean more when it comes to yard maintenance this fall? We asked Bobby Modern, Director of Horticulture at Duke Gardens and the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
There's a lot of good reasons to leave those leaves and not to clean up every single leaf in your property.
Modern says that's because leaves on the ground are part of the circle of life.
Microorganisms, they break these leaves down in the winter and during the spring. And basically when they do that, they're providing nutrients to refeed all of these plants that live in the forest.
Fallen foliage also serves as a haven for insects and creatures that keep pests down and boost pollination near you.
Great spangled fritillaries and woolly bear caterpillars, tuck themselves in leaves. Luna moths and swallowtail butterflies disguise their cocoons to look like leaves, to blend in really well.
So we can verify, yes, leaving fallen leaves in your yard helps plants and boosts wildlife. Now, what if you want to leave the leaves while still keeping a tidy look to your yard? Modern recommends blowing leaves into your planting beds, then wetting them with a hose to keep the wind from carrying them back onto your lawn. Then at the end of the season, he says to cover the leaves with any mulch you prefer.
That acts as a weight. It holds the leaves in place. And it also helps to kind of start that decomposition process a little faster by acting as a blanket.
Love what I do. Here we go. Come on.
He passed out.
Welcome back to DBL. That was everyone's favorite Santa, starring alongside his real-life daughter. Last year, the Santa Claus franchise got a spin-off series, and this year, the Santa Clauses are back. Earlier, we caught up with Tim Allen and his daughter, Elizabeth. Take a look.
Please welcome to the show, Tim Allen and Elizabeth Allen Dick.
Hello, you two. Tim, I wanted to ask first, we want to say hello from your hometown of Denver. Hello. Do you get to visit the Mile High City often? Yes.
Yes, coming in February, actually, to do a concert there.
Well, maybe he will be on the panel. Let's cut this and send to his people. All right, now let's talk about the Santa Claus franchise. It's really become a family affair for you, but why did you want to cast your real daughter as your TV daughter?
I say it briefly. The idea wasn't that her mom and I had no intention of this. I just wanted to surprise her and have her come on and do a wave as an elf in the background.
Cute.
Come by in that background, and she had to read because she was going to say something. And every time she read, they go, "Could she read another one?" And as it got in there, I bowed out of it. I said, "I don't want to influence that." So she came in and she read it, and she got the job, and it's been wonderful blessing because I said not only, but she did a really good job, and she's with some really accomplished young actors, and she's learning from them and respectful for them, but also bringing something to the table. So, hey.
Her own merit.
We love
Good
that.
for her.
Yeah.
We love that.
What am I gonna say?
Well, Elizabeth, I have to ask you, because your daddy was Santa to millions of kids before you were even a thought. So do you remember watching him as Santa the first time, and did you ever think that he might be the real guy?
Ooh.
Oh, this story is actually it's funny and it's like, doesn't really make any sense at the same time. But I think the first time I watched it, I was like 5 or 6 years old. And I think they had explained it to me, like, okay, like he acts on the screen. Yeah, it's a movie. It's not real, but he's kind of like a worker for the real Santa. So they kind of had staged it that way. And the first time I watched it, I cried. I don't know why.
Yeah, it wasn't a good cry. It was we looked at each other and went, this is not going well.
I don't know why. I saw him on the screen and I was like, this isn't right.
Looked at me, looked at the screen.
I don't know why he's up there. Yeah, no, it wasn't.
And then mad at me because I left Charlie in the
Yeah,
woods. Why'd you leave the boy? And I go, remember? Santa. I want you going to school and telling people that I was Santa. This is a bad idea.
Oh my gosh.
I love the dynamic already. So Tim, you're very well known, obviously, for the famous grunt, right? I noticed, or maybe I'm mistaken, did you sneak that into the Santa Claus? Was that improvised or was that in the script?
No, I've always, the original director, John Pasquin, we've snuck in home improvement references to almost everything I've done. I believe in Toy Story, the second one, there's a Binford toolbox behind one of the acts. We've snuck in a lot of that, which is where my career began, doing the grunt, which really quickly is I did a show for Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company at a sales banquet when I was the first comic. I was dying on stage because it was a banquet, and all I heard was men going, out of frustration. I just started doing that on stage. I went, and the men in the room went, hey, that's funny stuff, kid.
I love those little Easter eggs. That's great.
That is, I'm a comic as well, and those banquets, all you hear is the silverware.
Yeah, the clinking.
Sorry, I had a little tiny
flashback.
flashback.
The back of people, because it's the round tables. I see the back. What am I doing for a living?
I got to ask you this, Tim. Christmas Eve is Santa's biggest night, but in real life, do you, as a father, get your presents early, or are you one of those last-minute shoppers?
I'm really good at over the years, and it's because of Jane, my wife. She's really good at this. Wherever we travel, and we say, God, that'll be good for this. This will be good. We'll pick up stuff way ahead of time. The difficulty is sometimes we wrap them and go, what was in that one? We wrap them early, and sometimes you're open a box. So here's one for you, honey. She goes, why'd you get me a bar of soap? Oh, that was for the guys at the shop. So the only difficulty with early stuff is you can't wrap them too early.
So true. I've learned the hard way. DBL Nation, you got to watch The Santa Claus is streaming now on Disney Plus, and catch Tim on tour this February 2nd and 3rd in both of his hometowns, Denver and Detroit.
Nice.
Tim and Elizabeth, what a treat. Thank you so much. Congratulations on all the success. Way to go, Elizabeth, and Merry Christmas. We'll be right back.
Mazel tov.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Video has almost 8 million views, and young girls are commenting on the video saying they are nervous and throwing away their sports bras. So I spoke to a doctor who verified if wearing a sports bra can actually cause breast cancer.
If you wear your sports bra all the time, you need to stop.
Kelly Hayes on TikTok is urging people to listen to this message after her doctors found a lump in her breast. They told her wearing a sports bra can cause fluids to get stuck in her lymph nodes.
When you have compression on them all the time, it gets like extra fluid because it can't go anywhere.
Now people on social media are panicking, trying to figure out if this can increase the risk of being diagnosed with breast cancer. So let's verify, can wearing a sports bra cause breast cancer? Our source is Dr. Tim Martindale, owner of a family practice physician in Waco. He says sports bras are actually great to wear.
If you don't wear a bra, there is an element of sagging of breast, of lengthening of the ligaments, which tends to be permanent. So if you like to have the best shape and health of your breast, support for them is a healthy thing.
Martindale says the woman in the video never got breast cancer.
It was something completely different. It was a nodule that was harmless.
The lumps Kelly talked about do not deal with breast cancer at all.
Some people are concerned about something called lymphedema, where you can develop thicker secretions that build up and cause troubles. Number one, that has nothing to do with breast cancer, but it does have something to do with breast health.
Martindale says there are ways you can improve your breast health.
The idea of fluid pockets, that can be helped with the massage, and the sports bras don't make that worse.
And for those concerned, you can decrease your chances.
Weight loss and staying away from alcohol and tobacco or cigarettes or nicotine.
Martindale encourages those to do research before trusting what you see online.
Look at a reputable site for medical information or ask your physician.
So we can verify
it's absolutely false.
Our experts say wearing a sports bra is safe. There's no increased risk for breast cancer, and they're more healthy than not okay.
More than 19,000 car crashes are reported to police every day on American roads. As electric vehicles become more popular, the chance they'll be involved in an accident is also going up. Several Verify viewers reached out to ask about posts like these that claim first responders can't use the jaws of life to cut through an EV because they risk being electrocuted. Let's verify. Can emergency responders use the jaws of life on electric vehicles? Our sources are the National Fire Protection Association, Safe Electricity, Chief Michael O'Brien with the International Association of Fire Chiefs, and EV emergency response trainers Dan Fish and Michael Smith. EVs use high voltage batteries to power your drive. If firefighters cut directly into the battery or cables that connect the car's electrical components, then there is a risk of electrocution. But all of our sources say there is no record of this happening anywhere in the world. Smith told Verify, quote, "It is entirely possible to use extrication tools on electric, hybrid electric, plug-in hybrid electric, and hydrogen vehicles," unquote. Manufacturers provide guidance to emergency responders that highlight safe places to use extraction tools, like the jaws of life. So, yes, emergency responders can use the jaws of life on electric vehicles. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
This November, Sandals is giving thanks with an all-inclusive vacation giveaway to Sandals Resorts. Watch DBL every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyblastlive.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night escape for 2 to any Sandals resort of your choice. The winner will be announced on DBL November 22nd. Today's Sandals word of the day is snorkel.
Dang, I never got it. Welcome back. If you want to plan a getaway and can't self-care, can take place right at home. So don't worry about it. We're talking about it in today's tip, sponsored by Jacuzzi. So here's some things to consider when planning an at-home wellness retreat. Schedule your self-care routine prior to getting started. Prepare your space. So if a relaxing bath and reading a book is on your agenda, have everything you need already set up so you don't waste the time you set aside to relax and unplug. If you want to start your remodel, Jacuzzi can help you do it the right way with a spa-like experience. Jacuzzi offers an unmatched, stress-free remodeling process. So visit jacuzzibathremodel.com or call 1-800-990-6834.
I think I already know Tori's answer, but have you ever read a book in a bath?
I would be scared I'd get the pages wet.
Oh my God.
In high school, I did.
I read Hamlet in a bubble bath.
The whole play?
Out loud by myself. We'll see you tomorrow.
Wow.
Too bad or not too bad?